I will die on that hill.
I absolutely love Miley Cyrus.
You have failed this.
Right, so I get to say it. Right on.
Sickest night ever. Is this? What are we doing?
No. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Call Guys podcast. I'm Gunner, also known as Chico Noise, 3-time podcast host. And look who's on time this week. It's Juan Kill for 3. He's actually here on time.
Wow, the disrespect I get. You know, I hope your AC goes out.
Oh,
and you
gosh.
have to pay somebody a lot of money to come out and fix it.
No, I'll just call you. I'll call Logan. Maybe he'll fly up to Indiana.
Logan's not flying anywhere. I'll drive. I hate
Speaking
airports.
of, look who's here, everybody. It's
Yeah.
Logan.
It's just Logan. I don't have a podcast name because it just doesn't make sense for me. I don't know. Nothing ever sticks.
I mean, you could come up with something.
I'm sure I could, but I'm just Logan. That's my
Yeah.
moniker. That's what I am. Just Logan. Logan's enough.
Logan's enough. For everybody that doesn't know, Logan is back on TUSOP. Now, it might only be once a month for now, but he is back for The Other Side, which airs
Back
every
again.
final Saturday, every last Saturday of the month, where him and the Emperor are covering everything.
I had to give Golden Jay another reason to sit in front of the mic and hear his own voice.
Yep.
Anything to give that man a reason to listen to his own voice.
Oh man, that ran our first episode too. Like it's already gonna be lengthy because we've got 4 to 5 episodes to cover, but then me and him both have this thing to where we don't shut the hell up.
Yep.
And then you just get us alone at night. And when I podcast, I sit in that, especially when I podcast at home, I sit and I drink too so it just makes me even more chatty.
Yeah. Speaking of sitting at home, look at all this Power
I was
Rangers
going to
stuff and
say,
you're
is
watching
there
YouTube.
anything? What have you done to the background here? Because honestly, you have one of my favorite backgrounds of guest.
It's just swapped because if I turn the camera to the left, you'd be looking at what you normally look at. These are just my walls. All my walls are basically an advertisement for IKEA. These are 4 Detolfs. If you need glass display cases, get you a Detolf. You can't go wrong. $99. 4 levels of display. It's got holes for lighting, which they also sell at IKEA.
Of course.
Oh man, I'm gonna get me a few more next year. Can't get enough of them.
Very
Just,
nice. What is behind you though?
Well,
For the ones who listen on the old Spotify or Apple iTunes.
well, I've got the big rhino helmet here is actually custom designed and made for me. That's my made character for my Wild Force New Frontier. These are limited edition black and gunmetal Zords that are just painted differently. Got the Astro mega ship from Power Rangers in Space. A lot of it's the stuff that Japan got that we never saw, aside from this is Lost Galaxy and this is in space, which we got when we were kids. But yeah, it's just a bunch of Megazords, like a lot of Megazords. And if you haven't watched on the YouTube, this is the prime time to hop on YouTube so you can actually see.
Yeah, look at all the goodies.
I like watching you guys on YouTube, but I do all my podcast listening in the car, so that's got to be auditory.
Yeah, it's hard to watch and drive.
You probably shouldn't.
There's also not
it might
much
be
to
frowned
watch.
upon.
I
Just
mean,
watch
your
our mouth
guys'
move.
backgrounds has changed with time too. Chico's being the more notable one because he got all of his posters out there. I'd like to get a ruler on those posters and see if he mapped it out to exact inches.
I did.
Yeah,
it looks very uniform.
Yeah, allegedly he did that, but when he comes over here to help me hang stuff, the dude, I'm telling you, I don't know. I think his dad, I bet his mom came over and actually hung him up. Bobby is probably way better at hanging stuff than Gunner is. Because I'm telling you, I've got 3 holes in my wall over here because of Gunner's measuring.
I heard that today because today I finally finished the episode of Guys with Issues with you guys on it, and I heard you talking about that.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I didn't drill any of the holes. I just measured out. But I also didn't really use the measuring tape. I was doing it all up here in the old noggin.
But you used the measuring tape when you hung up your posters?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's okay to use the measuring tape when it's at your house. I see how it is.
Hey,
Logan.
Colton is the
Colton's
guy.
house, you just eyeball it.
He is the guy that takes the reins you can't really tell him anything he doesn't already want to do. He'll just do it. So it's pretty much like, that looks like it might be like 23.5 inches, center. And he's like, all right, we measure it out. And he just goes for it. So he didn't
Nice.
measure it himself. He didn't double
That's-
check me.
that is
Measure
fine.
twice, cut once. In this case, measure twice, drill one hole.
Yeah. Well,
But
not that a little spackle can't fix and some
yeah,
paint,
you'd be all right.
you know.
It's just we're just gonna try to forget about it.
I don't
can't
even
see
want to.
can't see the holes, so if I can't see it, it can't bug me.
Well, you can
Yeah,
see
that's
one of
fair.
them. You can see one of them.
Oh, I know that.
It's got a drywall anchor in it.
Oh no.
It matches the wall color, so I might keep it.
It kind of does. Yeah,
Yeah.
it should be okay.
I feel bad for the apartment people when I finally leave this place because there are holes from me hanging stuff everywhere.
Yeah, we were running that hardline Ethernet down here to this room to get better internet.
Oh yeah,
and
did you do that after last
I
week's
did.
episode?
I did.
Gotcha.
And I was looking from our storage room in the basement. I could see light through the wall, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's where that hole goes."
Oh gosh.
Oh no.
So that wasn't mine though either. That was here. I painted over it. I didn't spackle. I just left it.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's what the apartment complex will do. All these holes, they'll just paint over it
Yep.
along with like light fixtures and sockets and everything. Just slap a coat of paint over it. It's good.
Yeah, looks good. We're good.
I wouldn't go as far as say it looks good, but
Sure. So what you been up to, Logan, other than podcast stuff?
oh, just a lot of work. It's hot in Texas, and we actually had a wildfire that was like a pretty big problem, like 2 miles out from here last month for a good bit of time because it was so dry. Like we didn't have rain for like a month and a half, but then it finally rained, and it's kids are back to school. They're digging it. I don't know, just even when I wasn't podcasting, I was still doing podcast stuff. I was still researching things and doing art stuff with Esteban and all that jazz. Like I'll be sitting in bed and I'll think of an idea, then I'll hit up Esteban and be like, I'll email your dad and be like, you know what would be cool? And then he'll be like, tell him to send me an invoice. And there we go.
Dang. Yeah, I got a hold of you this week to look at doing some t-shirt design, so hopefully we can bring that to fruition here soon.
Sir, Esteban's the way to go. That man kills it. Like I said, at the end of the day, like if you don't like Tusop, which that's not very nice, but you can't say that we don't have great art because our art is phenomenal.
And a lot of people go to Tucson because of the art.
Yeah, that was the plan from the start. It was like if we're gonna do this, I want a professionally done image, and I had it in my head. Haskins the Scarecrow is our first thing, and like what I envisioned him was a lot of Goosebumps inspired stuff, is because a Goosebump book that always like lived rent free in my head was the Horrorland one, and it was that book cover of that like big green monster peeking out from behind the sign. And then another one was the Scarecrow, and I was like, oh, let me put peanut butter and jelly together and get an image out of that.
Yeah.
Because the whole idea is we're going all over the United States. So I was like, it should be a road sign, and we'll have the Scarecrow on there because it started with an Indiana team and corn. So
corn. Too much corn. Corn's about to go away in Indiana. Thank God.
It's because it's the Tisbe the season.
It is the season to harvest.
Yeah, it's all getting turned into whatchamacallit, that place, that little it was out there in Etna Green, the one that used to do every Halloween did the little maze for us to run through. Well,
you're talking about the elevator?
No, it was the little like they sold like fruits and vegetables out there.
Oh, Pick and Patch?
Yeah, Pick and Patch.
Crazy Joe's now. Yeah.
Yeah, but they used to like make the little mazes to go through during Halloween, and you go out there and pick a pumpkin and all that jazz.
Yeah, good times. I remember all that. That was so fun. They don't. Yeah, nobody really does that anymore. You have to go like Christmas tree farms or apple orchards. They normally do that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, it's because Halloween is slowly just getting.
Yeah,
unfortunately. That's for another podcast. Don't get me started talking about Halloween. We're not even in October yet.
Well, we mentioned it. Logan will be back here at the end of October after Colton and I hopefully come back from our hiatus for the Halloween episode. And I don't know if we've decided if we're doing horror or movie monsters yet, but
Either way, I'm down. I am literally I am the town whore of Halloween when it comes to this podcasting network. I am
You are.
everywhere.
I enjoy it.
Halloween, that's my month. I'm like Santa Claus. I get to work on Halloween. Plus, that's when my inventory for work is every year in October. That's when I go camping with my buddy. Halloween is nonstop for me.
yeah.
At least this year I'm not like I'm into SOP, but and I'll be in 3 episodes, but that's not as many stuff as I had going on last year because I was in 4, 5, like maybe 5 episodes. Plus, I had the brewery event
Yeah.
and everything on top of inventory at work and getting ready for the camping trip. Like I get spread thin on Halloween, but this year I was smart. I took my vacation time because we're going on the Halloween weekend for camping at Renfest. And then I took that Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday off so I can do whatever the hell I want on Halloween, take the kids trick or treating, stay up all night watching scary movies, and then I can just sleep the next day while they're at school like chumps.
Nice.
I'm ready for it.
All planned out. The only
Kind of.
person in the world that's planned out his entire Halloween.
You got to, man. I didn't go to the Monster cereal booze release this year, which I normally go to, but I think I had enough of their booze last year to last me 2 years.
I did
So I'll catch it
buy
next year around.
I bought some Count Chocula cereal the other day for Sarah.
Oh, dude, I bought I just had them in. I've never owned Crocs in my life. Never wanted them. But they put out the Monster cereal Crocs. I ordered all 3 of them. They're sitting on my shelf right now. And they got
Monster cereal crap.
yeah, they got Frankenberry, Count Chocula, and Boo Berry, and they had their little bits that are on them. They're shaped like cereal boxes, smell like the cereals.
That's
So if anybody's ever sniffing your feet, I guess if that's what you're into, it can smell like cereal and foot. They're just on my shelf.
nice. Nice. Colton, what you been up to?
Yeah, I've been up to it. No, man. Really just getting ready for the kid.
Oh, yeah.
Getting close for both
Yeah,
of you.
we're about 2 weeks to go time, and everything's looking good, checking out good. So just kind of waiting and seeing where that's gonna go. And for those who don't know, and I know this is gonna come out a couple days after, but this Thursday, Blink 182 released some new songs, and one is called One More Time. And I'm telling you, I have a hard time getting through that song emotionally because I feel like it is a letter that they both like. The first verse is Tom talking to Mark, the second verse is Mark talking to Tom. The chorus is just gut wrenching every single time. And the third chorus they got, I felt like it was those two. They recorded the conversation of those two getting together, and that's kind of what they said to each other.
Woof.
And it's heavy. I highly encourage you to go out there, get the album, get it all.
See, that's like heartstring tugging, and that's like I didn't even hear about that until just now. Meanwhile, NSYNC's back in the studio, and that's
Yep.
everywhere. They were just on Hot Ones today, the whole crew.
Oh yeah, my wife told me about it a couple days ago.
Tell you
like, what?
Joey aged hard.
Oh yeah.
The rest of them look all right, but Joey's over there like full gray. Just, whew.
Yeah. I feel a little bad for him, but Father Time is undefeated. He comes for everyone.
Yep, that's true.
Father Time. Well, good. Glad you guys are doing
How are you
well.
doing, Gunner? How's your week?
I'm good. I'm great. Getting ready to head out to Kansas City. When this airs, I'll actually be on my way back from Kansas City. So
Oh, you're going to
Nice.
see the Bears too on this game, right?
the Bears. Yep.
The Bears.
Minus Colton.
Let's just not talk about it. I just want to get through it. They're gonna get killed. They're gonna get beat really bad. I don't want to see that. And I just, I'm trying to downplay this as
Dude,
best as I can.
They lost to the Lions, Colton.
I know. The Chiefs are trash. Okay. They are borderline trash.
Oh, no.
And the Bears, I think they're going to hang with the Bears because I think the Chiefs play down to their competition, and the Bears are literal trash. And I mean, we fired our defensive coordinator after the FBI came knocked on his door. Um, allegedly, he did resign for his health. Allegedly, we've got everybody is taking shots at everybody. Players are taking shots at coaches, and it is a typical dumpster fire in Chicago for their sports teams right now.
When is
And
Chicago not a dumpster fire though?
oh man, 2016, the Cubs won the World Series.
Yeah. Well, and then
Michael
dumpsters.
Jordan in the 90s.
Okay, but when they won the World Series, try to tell me that there weren't literal dumpsters on fire in
Guaranteed.
Chicago.
There were cars on fire.
I
there
love
were
Chicago. I love the food. I love the people. They're mean as shit. I had to work at a Radio Shack over there for like 4 months straight. It was a miracle my car didn't get broken into, but like countless employees at the Radio Shack's cars got broken into while I was there. But that place is constantly on fire, win or lose.
Oh, I agree. Chicago is that's another whole podcast in and of itself of why Chicago is on fire.
We should do a series on movies made in cities and just do one on Chicago.
Oh
Don't talk
man,
about
movies
movies.
or television shows because like hell,
Oh,
you
there you
could
go.
do Chicago, do The Bear because The Bear is one of the best
Oh
TV
my
shows to
God,
come
it was
out
so
in
good.
forever. That
So
dude,
good.
Jeremy White, that dude is phenomenal because he was in Shameless. I don't know if you guys ever watched it.
Never watched
He
Shameless,
played
but-
Lip in Shameless, and he was amazing in that. But that dude's been typecasted as a Chicago boy, but he's from the Bronx in New York.
Well,
It's interchangeable. It really
I was gonna
is.
say they could coexist.
Just different types of pizza, and that's about it. But that dude, The Bear is great. I don't know if Colton's
Well,
watched.
you-
I know
oh my God.
Chico has, but
So
that
good.
show's amazing.
I've been told to get into it. The wife and
So
I are
good.
currently watching some other stuff right now, and I think that's one I'm gonna pitch to her and see what she thinks, and then go from there.
We're watching Ahsoka as it comes out. We're watching the last season of Reservation Dogs. And I feel like there's one more show I'm watching. Well, we got our trash TV. We always watch like Sister Wives and 90 Day Fiance the other way. Those hurt me physically to watch, but God, I can't look away. I feel like there's one more. And then your guys' boys at Marvel doing us dirty this year. Last year we got we got Werewolf by Night, and this year like we got Halloween content for you guys. You know what it is? Werewolf by Night in color.
Oh God. Really?
Yeah, they're like, we added color. I'm like, dude, you couldn't have made something else for Halloween this time, or
Yeah.
Well, the budget's getting cut over
I
there.
said they blew their whole
Yeah.
budget.
well, Disney must have blown their budget on Ahsoka because
Oh my God,
it looks
that
pretty.
episode
It's
5.
also good. It's also I know you guys are gonna talk about it, so I won't get into it. But like, this is them being like, see, guys, we can still make good Star Wars.
It's
It's still
phenomenal.
make good Star
Phenomenal.
Wars.
Are you caught up,
Well,
Colton?
we got Loki, then in next
October.
month, October.
Yeah,
Yeah.
October. October's Loki. Yeah,
Yeah, which that's where all their Marvel money is probably being put.
probably.
Which is okay
Yeah.
with me.
Yeah.
Same.
So,
Colton, you
Yeah.
need to catch up on this.
I know. I'm trying to go in with very very low expectations.
You don't have to.
But that's what I
Yeah.
keep hearing is that it's fantastic, and I'm trying to temper that.
when you can go to clips or a YouTube thing about a Star Wars show and all the fanboys are in there being like, woo, you're fine.
Yeah. Yep.
You're okay. Oh, One Piece. We finished One Piece too. The live action One Piece.
I heard that was good.
Yeah, that goes back to that Ahsoka thing. When you got anime fanboys being like, this is good. They'd be like, and it's a live action adaptation, then you're doing pretty good. I never watched One Piece, but I got a buddy that like has worshipped it since high school. So I don't go in being like, this isn't right or this isn't right. So I just got to enjoy it for what it was.
Nice.
I really liked it. It was a fun watch.
What are you
Yeah,
been
'cause
watching, Colton?
I think my wife was wanting to maybe watch that because she just heard it's really really good.
It is.
Mm.
It's a really nice show.
What'd you say, Gunnar?
What have you been watching? That was my next
New-
question after we talked about how we were doing. So and Logan just went
New
right into it.
Girl. The wife and I are going over New Girl again. We've got our cooking shows that we watch.
What cooking shows we watching here? Let's talk some. What we got?
Gosh, Chopped. We watch a lot of Chopped.
Chop skin.
We always watch the food truck race.
Yeah, we finished that last season a couple months ago, and I was sad to
Mhm.
see it go. You know, that show has gotten watered down throughout time.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, so this is a man of culture here. I can see he's
Oh
just as
my
upset as I am.
gosh.
Remember when they used to actually drive around the country?
Oh my.
Yeah.
Just threw my headset across the room.
It's such because that used to be a challenge for these people because they'd go to a new place and have to meet new people or be like, oh, we're in Texas, so they don't like vegans here or this or that. Now
Preach
they
it.
stay in
Keep
fucking
going.
California the whole time.
Amen.
So
Preach it.
they're like, hey, another vegan truck won. And it's like, no shit.
Preach it. Preach it. Keep going. Keep going.
So they don't drive around anymore. They really don't show them grocery shopping. They don't.
No, that's no longer a thing. That's important.
They don't even win trucks anymore. Now it's like these people already have a truck or these people owned a business and be like, yeah, remember when it was people that wanted to get into this business and they're like, hey, you get a truck and some seed money. And now it's like these people own a 4-star restaurant, but they want to get in the food truck business. And I was like,
yeah,
then take out a loan and get it because you already got a successful business.
They need to switch it up. They either need to do all California teams or they need to go and do it in Texas somewhere. Go to Boston and do it. Go to Chicago and do it. Go to Miami and do it. Like, I'm tired. I am sick and tired of watching teams that are local teams there. Yeah, and they go and they dominate.
That's crap. It's like because they already got a fan following.
Exactly.
And they're like, hey, come out and support us. And like meanwhile, it's like we've got Joe from Maine who makes lobster dishes and he's out here struggling. And it's just like, that's crap, man.
Yeah, either if they're gonna keep it in California, they gotta have no more California teams.
Did you notice this season that Tyler was cussing like way more than he ever did?
He seemed
like he was getting a little bit of going on.
He seemed very angry. I was curious about his personal life.
Yeah, like, oh fuck, or oh this, and then bleep it. I was like, what's going on with Tyler?
Oh my goodness.
he seemed a little extra angry this season.
But yeah, I also like the Chef show, which was they stopped making, but that was on Netflix, and it was John Favreau.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Because he did that movie, and he learned how to cook for Chef, which is one of my all-time favorite movies. And then years later, he pitched a cooking show to Netflix where the guy that trained him for that movie and him cook, and I love that show. It's so good.
Yeah, I saw that. We're actually another show we just started watching is Nailed It has come out with a baking competition. And that's pretty hysterical. But the problem is I feel like the bakers, they're getting better. I think that was the kind of the fresh thing about when you do the episode thing. And, you know, you've got new bad people every time. Now they've just taken really bad cooks and now they're not. We're on like episode 4 and they're just not as bad as cooks now.
See, that's what you do with that. You want to win the money, so you send them a video, but like, I suck. Look what I've made. And then you study like a motherfucker and you get on there and you're like, I'm great at cooking now. Who won?
My wife wants to go on that show. And I looked at her. I said, you're too good to be on that show.
I don't bake. I cook all day long. I love cooking. Like I'll brine pork and marinate it for a week to make cubanos and everything, but I don't bake. There's too much math in baking. If I got to get out a scale to weigh how much something's going in something, I'm out.
Yeah, she's got this divider on the fridge that is, you know, takes a recipe and she says, well, if you're doing it for like, if you want to divide it in half, this is what your measurements come out to. If you want to do it by a third, this is what your measurements come out to. If you want to add half of whatever it calls for, like, and I'm just like, this is ridiculous.
Big no on my end. I mean, no, I can eyeball anything in the kitchen except for baking crap. Like Gunner was there, my sister's wedding. Don't get me started on that. First of all, it was my sister got married to my best friend and like was like my ride or die. Now they're married, so we're less friends, not because we don't like each other, it's just because, you know, it takes on its own thing.
That's how it goes.
We did everything together, and they got married. And at that wedding, you know what I was, Colton? My only sibling's wedding. I was the unpaid caterer.
You made some good gumbo.
Yeah, and that's what I did the whole time was gumbo for all these people I didn't know. I wasn't in my only sibling's wedding, and my son was, but I wasn't. But I made gumbo and served it.
And it was good.
And served it. That's great.
And then I drove both their drunk asses home that night too. So I had that going for me also.
Look at you. You give and you give and you give.
Yeah, I got that note they gave me for thanking me for that framed in my kitchen so I can look at it every time I cook. I earned it.
Dang.
I was stirring
Logan,
that gumbo with an oar for a boat. That's how much gumbo I was making, dude. No lie.
Logan,
it was an oar from a boat, and I was stirring
Logan, why are
gumbo
you
with-
cooking so angry? I looked at the fridge.
Yeah, it motivates me.
And then the last thing we're watching is Only Murderers.
Yeah.
in the building. So
I've been meaning to check that out. That looks good. You guys talk about it all the time.
I get text messages now from Gunner
As he's watching
hours before I'm even eligible to watch this show. And he says stuff, and I'm like, dude, shut up.
I don't give anything away. I just say what I think.
Oh, see, that's how I do Ahsoka. We literally sitting on the couch waiting for them to drop it at like 8 o'clock our time because otherwise it's gonna get spoiled for me somehow.
Yeah, I watched Ahsoka at 9:05 on Tuesday.
So it's 8 our
wow.
time. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it. It's so good.
What are you watching, Gunner?
Obviously Ahsoka, Only Murders, but we also started Yellowstone. I was just always curious into watching it.
Cowboy Simulator. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And I'm actually really enjoying it. I'm not really into that kind of thing, but it's pretty good.
There is a really offensive. There's at one point in that show, some Texas girl comes on there. She's like, she must be from Texas, and she starts talking some nonsense with like this really weird accent. And I'm like, whoever wrote this has never been to Texas in their life. And she's saying all sorts of weird shit. She sounds like she's about to spit the whole time, and I'm like, all right, okay.
Yeah, you know who wrote it? Some dude in an office in New York City wrote
he's like,
this.
This sounds like something a Texas lady would say, right?
And
yeah.
he's writing about middle of nowhere Montana.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I enjoy it. It's different. And I've been recommended that since it came out, and it's got 5 seasons, so
Well, don't they have like a older? There's like 2 Yellowstones. There's like one that's like a prequel, and then there's that one because like the prequel one has Harrison Ford in it. It's like a show regular.
well, I don't know.
I couldn't tell you.
I never watched them. I just seen like trailers and all that jazz.
I'm not sure. All right. Let's get into emails so we can get to a question of the pod and actually talk about what we're going to talk about. you know how that goes. So we do have an email from Logan, but we're going to push that off till next week because it's
That's fine.
Unless he covers it while we're talking here. So
We might. I've lost. My rage barometer has dipped down since then, so I don't know that I have the fuel to have the same fire as I did.
Oh my!
I'm gonna just send in audio clips of my emails from here on out because
I know
I have no qualms saying that my writing, spelling, and punctuation is trash. This is what happens, kids, when you just refuse to do the work when you're a kid in school. Like I got overseas in the army, and a teacher slipped up and was like, "Oh, well, here in the army, we have no child left behind. So even if you fail, you will go to the next grade." And I was like, "Oh, really? All right, I'm clocking out now."
it's like deciphering something from National Treasure. And
Yeah.
Nick Cage over here, like
Nick Cage here.
Every now and then I'll throw in a punctuation because I'm like, yeah, that looks like that might be where that goes and what it's supposed to do.
it's a semicolon.
Yeah, just
It's semicolon.
put it right there. that looks professional. Send.
Got it. Nailed it.
Yep, I got it.
All right, so we have an email from ISOCAM, and I feel like it's kind of one that I don't know if we should share it, but I feel like he sent it to us, so maybe he wanted us to share it. So it's titled Life, and he says, I got in a bad car wreck on my way home from work today with my pregnant girlfriend in the car. Boy, I was livid, cried, and had a public anger freak out. Kicked my car door and punched the window. Life sucks. I had such a bad day. Then that happens. It is what it is. Hope you two are doing fine. And he sent us pictures of the car. So Cam, hopefully you're all right. Hopefully your girlfriend's all right. We're thinking of you, and man, that is a bad day right there.
Yeah, man,
no.
that's not fun. Hope, like I said, I think Gunner nailed it. Hope you're doing well. Hope the girlfriend's doing well. Hope the baby's doing well. Hope everybody's just okay. cars can be replaced. People are a little bit harder to replace. So just hope you're doing fine, man. It's gonna get better. It's gonna get better.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and don't hit inanimate objects because that just always bites you in the ass.
Yeah, that's so true.
Oh.
I've got this scar on my hand when I punched an LP tank when I found out I couldn't give my mom a kidney. And the first time I ever punched anything ever out of anger because I was a basketball player and my hands are important. So I just always learned to never punch anything. But that was the first time I ever punched something. Let me tell you, that LP tank.
It won, didn't it?
Oh, it did.
They always do.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you feel better, ISO, and I'm glad you and your old lady made it out fine. Like, that dude likes the podcast so much that he knocked up his lady to correlate with your guys' ladies.
Yep.
I swear. I believe that.
He's like,
But
I have to do this.
if you're having a bad day, ISO, you know what I do? Just get on Spotify and go listen to Bad Day by the Chipmunks from the first live action Chipmunks movie. You'll be all right. Try not to smile while listening to that ridiculous shit.
Oh my. Oh my.
I dare you. I dare you.
I'm gonna remember that next time I have a bad day.
Yeah, it works, man. Because like I said, it's an emotional song, and it's like, why did they have the Chipmunks sing this for this movie? This movie was for like 9-year-old kids.
Dang.
But I hope you feel better, bud, and I hope whoever hits you has to pay for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully you don't have to fork out anything for it. So
What else we got, Colton?
we have
Come back
another
to it.
email.
Okay.
That's been titled for me to read, I believe. Is that correct?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. So this one is titled Top 3 Disaster of a Movie. Starts out nice with gentlemen, longtime listeners, first time emailers. That's weird. It's a plural. One email. Anywho, love the pod. You guys are awesome. And party on, Garth. We write this email in collaboration with each other to bring attention to your most recent episode titled Top 3 Disaster Movies. A more appropriate title for the episode 77 would have been Top 3 Disasters of a Movie. You cannot have a run of featured films beginning with the with the knowing and ending with the deplorable, the happening without garnering a reaction from the fans. This paragraph was written in fashion to allow Colton the opportunity to redeem himself for botching the past few emails. I hope you did not disappoint Juan. Oh, okay. We understand the necessity of recording a shortened session so Gunnar could go watch his beloved Kansas City Chiefs take that L from MCDC Detroit Lions and prove that they are a one-trick pony on offense, but we cannot stand idly by and allow this injustice to go unchecked. We would like to offer our own top 3 disaster movies that should pale in comparison to the pile of hot garbage that was offered to the beloved listeners. Semicolon. Number 3 from the first list here. Titanic. Yeah, that's a good one. I'll give you that one. Maybe. 2, Contagion. Legitimately, I would call that a disaster movie. Honorable mentions: Deep Impact, The Core, Don't Look Up, which another good one that I forgot, and Everest. Number 1 is The Impossible. If you haven't seen this movie, give it a watch. Have you seen it, Gunnar?
Nope.
Logan, have you seen it?
I do not even know what it is.
I don't either.
And I watch disaster movies all the time.
No clue.
No clue. So I guess I have to go watch it now.
I guess.
Allegedly, because an emailer told me I need to go do something, so I should probably listen to the emailer.
Sure.
Had this episode been properly titled top 3 disasters of a movie, we would also like to submit our list for this category. Number 3, Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time.
Oh, Jake Gyllenhaal playing a Middle Eastern man.
Oh gosh. Number 2, The Last Airbender.
Oh, that's
That's
another
yeah.
white people playing somebody of a different ethnicity.
Honorable mentions, we have G.I. Joe,
Oh.
Battlefield Earth, Skyscraper, and yes, this is here because you mentioned it, Gunner.
Oh,
It's terrible.
yeah.
Number
Unplug
1,
it and plug it back in.
The Master of Disguise. Oh, we
Why not
appreciate you
Turtle?
both. We appreciate you
Turtleina?
both and look forward to the next topic, Lil J and Lord Voldy. You know,
How?
thank you guys for taking the time out of your Monday evening, watching Monday Night Football, watching the Manning cast, and emailing the call guys podcast at gmail.com. I appreciate you two so much. You guys are fantastic people and even better friends. Because you guys
Thank
at
you.
least came over to the house and helped paint and do the pool table. So I appreciate you guys.
I
Man,
just put holes in the wall.
how? I'll give him like Don't Look Up. That's on my top 3. That was just, I mean, that was a disaster movie, and I really feel like they poked fun at our government really hard.
Oh
And
yeah.
like this is how they would. That's what our government would do. If an asteroid was coming at us, they would make it into a political thing, and the world would be split by like the don't looks ups and the look down people and all this crap. But how? How in the hell, talking about disaster movies, has nobody mentioned Armageddon? Come on.
So it was like on the tip of my tongue for honorable mentions, and then when I actually made my list, I forgot it. But I have a
It's
piece of paper somewhere that has it on there, and I forgot to grab it. And when I was going back through, I
Mount
love Armageddon.
Rushmore of disaster movies. Bruce Willis is up there for Armageddon. 110%. That movie was like in theaters when disaster movies weren't really going to theaters anymore. It was a huge thing. You got, was it Bon Jovi out there putting out songs for it with their daughter in it? You got Ben Affleck in it. Ah, that's a good flick, man.
Yeah,
But
I
mine would
agree.
be Don't Look Up, Armageddon, and Twister. But because I'm never get Bill Paxton, you got Dusty and Twister. I'm not. That's always gonna be my top there. But like I'd put like Poseidon and The Perfect Storm and my honorable mentions and a few others in there for sure. But I always like what you call it Day After Tomorrow is a guilty pleasure of mine. I always love watching Day
Yeah,
After Tomorrow. But nobody mentioned Armageddon, and it makes me mad.
I'm sorry.
So mad,
I'm sorry.
so mad.
We used to watch that movie all the time,
But
all the freaking time.
somehow The Happening got in there. What the hell? What the actual hell? Marky Mark talking to a fucking plastic plant, Chico.
It wasn't me.
Oh, I'm
was
sorry.
me.
Yeah, that's right. It's cold.
That
It's
was
been a
me.
while. Yeah. He'd be like, listen, plant, we do not threaten you. Listen, even if that was a plant, it lives inside. It doesn't communicate with the outside plants, Marky Mark. Stop talking to the plant. God, it was awful. The whole movie, him doing is like, hey, how's your mother doing? So bad.
Why you guys gotta do this, man?
Yeah, guys, it's not right, guys. Come on. He needs to
Yeah,
stick to doing Ted movies and leave
yeah.
it at that.
Him and Seth MacFarlane all day.
Oh my.
Oh, but no Armageddon, man. That was
Yeah,
one of the
sorry.
first movies as a child that made me cry. I'm sitting in the hallway watching this movie when I'm not supposed to be watching it, and I risked getting an ass whooping to come out there and be like, talk to my dad and be like, sitting there crying, be like, why? Why can't he get on the ship too? Why is he gonna die on the rock?
Somebody's gotta stay behind.
Somebody's gotta stay behind. I'm gonna whoop your behind if you don't get back to your bedroom.
Yeah. Well,
That's
thanks
horrible.
for the email.
You guys owe disaster movies a retake. Retake.
Uh,
Once more with feeling, dog.
once more with feeling.
Maybe one day we will. We'll revisit.
Actually, isn't a half bad
Disaster.
idea.
Yeah. Maybe like a year from now.
It's got to be hard to find, like you guys said though, because it's a wide net of a category.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I struggled with because I didn't want to because I mean if we're doing disaster, I would have put Shaun of the Dead in there, obviously.
Yeah, you got to break it down to be like disaster movies. Like break it into 3 parts. We got contagion disaster movies, we got weather disaster movies, and then we got like
Apocalypse.
a weird apocalypse disaster movies.
Yeah.
Just split it into a 3-parter. Got you some content right there.
Great.
And if somebody mentions
More stuff.
Warm Bodies is a top 10 contagion zombies movies, I'm burning down your house.
Make an house call.
I love Warm Bodies.
Oh,
I think
God,
I've seen like half of the movie and it's absolutely
don't get
terrible.
me started on that. I'm not gonna even start talking about it. I'm not. It's for another time.
Another time. Colton, you said you have a question of the pod.
I do. It's pretty simple. I'm assuming we all like to cook in some capacity and do something like that. But when it comes to cleaning dishes, do you clean the outside part of the dish, of the pan, the cooking pan that you're doing? Do you clean the outside part of it? And do you clean the sink when you're done?
Now,
Yes,
I'm trying to think. Is Colton asking this because he's trying to justify that he's a trash person that doesn't wipe down the outside of the pan?
No, I'm pretty sure he is the
Opposite?
yeah, he's like the thorough
Okay.
one.
No, you gotta wipe down. First of all, if you don't wipe down the sink, it's gonna get funky. And you gotta wipe down the outside of the pot. I've got my Dutch ovens and my cast iron. I gotta keep the outside of those pristine.
Yeah.
You gotta keep them clean, dog.
Okay.
Just like you gotta keep your knife sharp.
Yeah. Yeah. Let us know at thecallguyspodcast@gmail.com. What you guys do with your cooking ware and your sink. Do you keep those clean? I'm just curious.
Or you just trash people and you don't keep them clean.
Maybe you just use them for a little bit and then throw them away. Get new ones.
Oh, good Lord. Oh.
No, thank you. See, I don't like to use a dishwasher. I don't really enjoy it doesn't get everything clean all the time, so I like to do dishes by hand. And I'm kind of a clean freak around the house, so.
Well, I saw the house you grew up in. I know that you did dishes by hand in that house.
Oh yeah. Yeah. See, I'm used to it.
So it's burnt into you.
Yep. Sarah does not.
Just wait till you're feeding a whole family and you just got like a big old stack there, and then you'll be like, there's a robot right down there that will do it for me if I give it a little help and like just rinse them off. You'll change your mind. I used to be the same way. When I lived by myself, I was like, oh, I don't need a dishwasher. And now that I've got a gaggle of children and stuff.
A gaggle.
Yeah, you get it.
Gaggle of goslings.
Let the robots help you when they can, man.
Yeah. Okay.
You'll find out here soon.
I've become more accustomed to using it now, but I just like pans and stuff. I scrub the crap out of those things. I make sure they're nice and clean. I don't want to be cooking something in a pan and get some of last week's food in it.
That's seasoning, bro. That's what that is.
Yeah. The grill's fine,
extra.
but not the pans. But yes, Colton, yes to both.
Okay, I appreciate that.
So, before we get in this movie, I know that we get into synopsises and everything, right? Like usually Chico reads it.
I haven't done one in a long time.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Well, I took the time to write up a synopsis.
Oh, I'd love
not the official synopsis. I wrote up my own synopsis.
Yes,
it is now.
This is
it's
official.
The synopsis that this movie deserves, and I figure we read it first before we tell people what we're watching to see if they can kind of figure out what it is.
Okay.
Ooh, I like this game.
Okay. So we got here. Small town girl gets her big Hollywood break only to just barely survive a fatal yacht explosion by not participating in Deep Throat. Shortly after being found adrift in the sea, the young woman is married off to a big, hairy local islander, only to have their mountain honeymoon crashed as a big oil executive who plans to move the couple to the Big Apple against her will, where the young starlet happens to finally find her sought-after fame, but at the cost of her new husband's life.
Wow.
That is good. That is really, really good.
This is where I need the soundboard for a round of applause.
I feel like it covered all the bases.
You want to talk about, that's a really good, like if this is a game show, that's a great, name that movie.
Oh yeah. That's our movie. And if you think it's a rom-com, If you count
Kind
the
of.
acting as being funny and interspecies erotica is romantic, then yes, you're right.
Yes.
Interspecies.
So let me give a little background. This movie came out. First of all, welcome to
Episode
episode
79.
79, which is our certified rotten. So what we're doing for these episodes 79, 89, 99, we're picking a movie that is technically certified rotten by what Rotten Tomatoes would call that. So it's anything under 59%, just like you fail a class. Like it's anything under 60 pretty much. So the 70s was tough, and Colton actually picked the film.
Whoa.
Thanks,
it took him a
Colton.
while. It took him a while. It took him a while, and I thought he did a great job with this one because it's going to give us that perfect discussion for what this is going to be about. So this movie came out December 17th, 1976. It does have a 53% on Rotten Tomatoes, directed by John Gillerman, and its budget was about 24 million, and it box officed 90, which actually is pretty decent
That's
for this
ridiculous
movie in
back
the
then.
time.
People
It's
didn't have a lot to do in the 70s.
Yeah,
I
ask
guess
Scott.
that's
Ask Scott because he knows everything about this movie.
Is this the one he likes?
I think so. I think this is one of them he likes. Yes, I think he likes them all. I think he likes them all. Runtime 2 hours and 14 minutes of my life gone. So
No shit.
all right. So this movie is the 1976 King Kong.
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah. Was it starring Jeff Bridges, Charles Gordon, and Jessica Lange?
Oh,
Yeah.
does it?
If you're like, I know one of those people, you're lucky that you do after he starred in this movie.
How? How does he get another gig after this?
Listen.
He was the best character
Boy,
in the movie.
yeah, he was doing that boy was doing the heavy lifting of acting in that whole movie.
100%.
I'm curious.
Jessica Lange, I only know from she's in like every season of American Horror Story.
Mhm.
But
Yep.
I don't know, and I couldn't name another property she was in. And the fact that she kept acting after this says a lot because Homegirl was like, they're like, okay, your character is upset. And she's like, okay, I hear you. I'm upset, so I'm going to start waving my head side to side like this over and over again. But like, oh no.
Scott did send me a couple fun facts about the movie because I sent him a picture on Messenger when we were watching it. He's like, "Are you watching 76?"
Oh no, Scott.
Yes, Scott, I am. He had to tell me that what do you say? The main actress, I just lost her name.
Jessica Lange.
Yeah, Jessica Lange
Lang.
had some ribs broken by the giant monkey
Yeah.
animatronic hand when it picked her up.
I believe it, dude. Like the giant robot hand she was sitting in for like
that
a year.
thing. Yeah, that was scary.
Yeah. And it was just like I was like, it's holding her pretty firm. Like
Yeah.
I was like, how did they make sure they didn't hurt her? Turns out, well, it did.
They did. And his other one was that King Kong in this movie was an actual 50-foot robot. So like it's a legit.
I believe it for some
Animatronic.
scenes. There were some scenes where you could see the face grate inside the mouth of that
Oh
mascot.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was surprised you couldn't actually see a human's mouth, to be honest.
Oh man. I mean, I'll give him props where it's due. The animatronic mask looked great.
Oh yeah.
The big hand, like, I mean, it's gonna like you can't really critique them hard about like the green screen stuff because it was the 70s.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
I
man,
mean,
there were
there
some
was
bad
some that
ones.
was rough. There was like I love my personal favorites were when all the guys were falling off the fucking log to their death.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. They all were like, I got this. And they just jumped off.
Yeah, and he was like, I was like, you saw the giant monkey coming at you, man. You had time to clear the log, but instead you just stood up. You weren't
Yep.
even. First of all, if I'm walking across a log, no matter how wide across a ravine, I'm crawling. I'm more stable on all four.
Yep.
I mean,
But they're all like, oh no, the big gorilla's coming. Let me stand here and just wait for him to get here to shake the log like casually.
did you watch all the credits?
No. Oh yeah, you did tell me about this though.
Oh no,
Okay.
what's in the credits?
Okay, so one thing I actually do miss about movies is, back in the day they used to like the movie would play in the background and they'd roll the credits over it. So that way you were watching something, it would like entice you to stay for all the credits at the end. They had special effects. How many people do you think they had running special effects?
If there was a big robot, I'd say 200 something.
200 something? Okay, Gunner. I know
You
you
already
know
told me. Take away a couple zeros.
two.
Are you serious? No
Two
wonder she got
people.
her ribs broken.
Yeah.
That was the funniest thing I saw
Two people.
from the credits was
Where did I guess all the budget went to building the robot.
Yeah.
I lost it. I was like, I have never seen that before in my life.
We talk about have you guys, well, I mean, I know you guys have seen, did you guys watch Peter Jackson's King Kong back in the day with Jack Black in it?
Jack Black. Yeah.
The Jack Black one, yeah.
Okay, so because I know a lot of people, like, I love kaiju movies, so like I've watched the original King Kong, the 1933,
33,
I believe, King Kong. I know not a lot of people haven't, but like the whole premise of like even the Peter Jackson one is a filmmaker looking to get like his big footage that puts him on the map. Is why he's going to this island. He knows it's Skull Island. He knows the rumors of the giant gorilla and all the giant animals, and he doesn't tell the crew, and he gets them out there. That's like the whole point. This was somebody's coke-addled reimagining of that. Instead of like, how about instead of a guy that knows what's going on this island that wants to film it and make a documentary, make tons of money, how about that? Instead of that, it's a guy that finds out there's an island out in the middle of the ocean that has a permanent fog around it, and his first thought was, "There's got to be oil on this island.
We're gonna go drill."
It's just a giant oil magnate that's like, we're gonna beat Exxon out there, and we're gonna get some oil, and it's gonna be great. And they just happen across the woman, adrift in the sea, because her yacht exploded.
Oh my
and
gosh.
she comes with them. And that's the Deep Throat remark I made there.
Yep.
She survived because she didn't want to go below deck and watch Deep Throat with a bunch of dudes. So she survived just floating out in a dinghy. And then we got Jeff Bridges, who was just on the boat because he studies monkeys for a living. And he was like, I've heard rumors about this island. I want to go see a big monkey.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just big oil out there trying to get them some crude.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Like that time period, it probably was more about like, we can drill for oil pretty much anywhere. Let's try to find it. And then they make this movie's just like, oil on an island. Let's go.
Let's go. It's got to be in this fog. And they get there and they're like, it's not inhabited. And the first thing they see is a giant wall. And the guy's like, oh, it's inhabited. They clearly patched it up recently. He was like, no, that's ancient. That's fine. And they see people there and they're like, nah, it's fine. There's not really people here. We'll give them some stuff and then we'll drill. And just like,
yeah,
what, they interrupted the ceremony of them picking out a new bride for Kong. And then instantly, this is something that came from the original movie. The tribesman instantly tries to trade off 6 women for the one white chick.
Yeah. How do they know Kong likes blonde women?
They're probably just like, oh, he's gonna like her because she looks completely different. They're like, hey, it's been 50 years of us giving him a person that looks like this. We'll give him a new person that we've never seen before.
Yeah, he'll be more interested. And he was. And he was.
Oh, creep. This movie was not rated R, and there was titty in this movie.
It's true. The creepiest.
Yeah, no, there
freaking
was,
monkey.
Yeah, no, and she was into it. Like when she was getting blown dried off by the monkey, which is
my gosh.
Every version of Kong, there's a scene where Kong is blowing air on a woman to dry her off. And like, I don't know if the director was like, hey, you're into it, or she just made an actor choice. But either way, like she was weirdly into it. And then they made the animatronic have the perviest smile.
Oh my gosh.
Eyebrows raising.
Yeah, his eyes got big and he's like, oh, movie. I was like, oh,
I could not. Like I think isn't this movie labeled technically as a horror film?
If you count Jessica Lange's acting, then it absolutely is.
Oh Lord, it was not good at all. Yeah, adventure horror is what it's titled under.
Oh,
I can't say it, no. Just because of the blood curdling screams.
It's probably because of the, like, at the most, like, far reaching, they'd be like, it's the snake scene where Kong rips the snake open.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the weakest Skull Island out of like all the Kong movies, because even the original 1933 one had like multiple dinosaurs he fought and a snake. And this one, he just fought a snake for like a brief second.
Yeah.
And the rest of it was like, what's really scary is big oil. Like, it seems like they were pushing an agenda there.
But hey, also, this oil still needs to age for about 1,000 more years.
Yeah, where the plot twist was, homie was like, there is oil. And they're like, yeah, but it's still got about 2,000 years. So he pivoted. He was like, wait, Exxon has that tiger that they sell. So we'll steal a big monkey and we'll use him as advertisements. And that's how we'll recoup our loss for the God knows how many thousands of millions of dollars they spent going out there, especially airdropping. What was it?
Bulldozers. I mean, they airdrop some big stuff.
Yeah, the like how many tanks of chloroform.
Oh, chloroform, yeah.
Yeah, and everything, and just like, oh, dude, man, they just spent more and more money. Big old monkey.
Just to fail.
Good Lord, in a big bad way.
Yeah. Yeah. So, let's go. Initial thoughts. You finished this movie. What was like? You were like, what?
Oh, thank God it's over.
Well, the thoughts as I was going through it was first like 55 minutes into this 2-hour long movie, we hadn't seen Monkey 1.
Nope.
And like I was like, when is he gonna show up? And I feel like the first few glimpses we got of his face, was that a real gorilla?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know.
Because it looked, like I said, the animatronic was good, but like I felt like the first few shots where you got was just face. Seemed like it was like they got a close up on like a real gorilla's face.
They wanted to make it feel real.
It was daunting because like there's a lot going on in this movie, especially when they got to New York. Like they're running from Kong, and homegirl's like, "Buy me a drink." Just over and over again. And the fact that they go into a bar because they're like, the apes won't cross water, but they forget to realize that Kong's tall enough to literally walk across the river. They're in a bar, and he's making a call because he's like, hey, government, the Twin Towers look just like the rock that Kong lives on back on his island. She's sitting in the bar, and somehow Kong knows what bar she's in.
Yep.
And he just stealthily reaches his giant arm through the door.
Didn't hear him coming up.
Yeah, and when she turns around, it's the one time in this movie this woman does not scream.
Yeah.
It's just Kong slowly reaching in there while making pervert eyes through the window at her, and she's just quiet. And he gets his arm in there perfectly quietly to get her, but when he takes it out, he rips like the whole door.
Yep.
And he just wanders off with her to the, like I said, the Twin Towers, which like back then that's fine, but now it is aged poorly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the next thing I thought about. I was like, I think that's what I texted Gunner. I was like, this movie did not age well.
It did not.
Yeah, the certain things that happened to the building in the middle of Kong being completely destroyed on top of it.
Oh God. Yeah, he swats one of the instead of biplanes in this one, it's helicopters because they aged it up. And it's well-armed helicopters. He swats one of them down, and it flies into the building and explodes.
Yep.
And, whew, yeah, that didn't age well. And plus, like you said, I think that's the violentest Kong has ever gone down.
Oh my gosh! They
got
just
lit up.
Plowed him.
It was blood everywhere.
Well, I didn't think he was gonna fall off the building either because he falls over and he's like laying there. I'm like, oh, well, they changed that too. And then the next thing you know, he's falling, and then they show a shot from down low, and he just appears. It's like I was dying.
They lit him up with like 2 Gatlins, like I guess 4 total, because 2 on each, and they just lit him up, and there was just blood going everywhere. And you're just watching squibs go off on this suit.
Oh yeah.
It was just pouring blood, and the dude doesn't even fall off the building naturally. He like passes out from blood loss on top of the building, and I guess he decides that he wants to roll off the building. Yeah. Because he just kind of like shrugs and rolls off and then falls to his death.
Although he's not actually dead when he hits the ground either.
Yeah, he just dies on the ground, and then it's like they do this, like they're like, you know what would be artsy? She finally gets famous, but at this point she doesn't want the fame, but she has no choice. And then Jeff Bridges' character's like, I'm out. He just fucking leaves.
Yep.
Yep. He's done. He's done. Colton, you said initial thoughts were. I'm glad it's over.
Gosh, just so many things went through my mind. I don't think you could make that movie today. I don't.
Well, no,
There's
you're
a lot
missing
of things you
two
could.
very big parts of that movie are gone now.
Yep.
No.
And then
Yeah.
Oh
they
my
brought him out in a giant
Oh,
gas
gas
can.
can.
Yeah. Like you go to the store to
The
fill up your
pump.
car with the gas. There was a giant gas pump they had Kong housed in, and they're like, what would make this even better? But like, yeah, put him in a gas pump.
Yeah.
Big oil ruins everything. Like somebody who made this movie really had a problem with big oil. They're like, there's a real monster.
I'm
Like,
an oil
okay.
man.
Yeah, oil
Oh
man.
my gosh.
He got squished. Did you guys see the part where like multiple people got squished and they were still twitching? They're still
they were like
twitching
laying.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, that was great. He walked away and they're all like twitching on the ground. I was like, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah. Gunnar, what did you think?
Yeah, I mean, same thing you guys did. I mean, it just was like oddly, terrifyingly horrible.
There's a
And
horror movie in that aspect.
yeah, that's what horror stands for in this case. Yeah, I definitely will never watch it again. And
I don't think I will either.
My thoughts were one is that Jeff Bridges carried the film straight
oh
up.
yeah,
He's like the only person there that had like serious like acting chops. I know Homegirl does American Horror Story now and she does good, but that was the first movie she ever did, by the way.
it was.
Yeah. Talk about picking somebody that's never done a movie and you're like, you want to be in a how many $1 million flick of us remaking King Kong, and they threw her in there?
Well, in that case, she didn't really do that bad. If it was her
Oh
first.
man, I could not stand her in that movie.
Oh my, I couldn't either.
Her waving every time she was distressed, her waving her head around and like, oof, it's not good. But I was with y'all to where like, you ever watch a movie and you had like these urges to like just fast forward through some stuff, just to like get to like a better part or the end faster? That's where I found myself with it. Like, and I love Kong. I love kaiju movies in general. But I got this far in life not knowing that this existed. And I'm a monster fan. There's got to be a reason. Nobody's talking about it because everybody has tried to forget it except for Scott, apparently.
And yeah, Scott is just overly King Kong
like
fanatic.
How in this day and age where there's a movie where King Kong's on top of the Twin Towers and a helicopter hits it, has nobody talked about this? Like the internet hasn't made memes or anything about it.
Brushed it under the rug.
Yeah.
You know, they were like, let's just get. Technically, it was a success for us, but yeah, it's just not.
But you can still watch it on what? What was it on Peacock or Paramount
Amazon.
Plus?
I watched it on Amazon.
I watched on Amazon. The craziest part about this, and I don't know if you guys know this. Do you know that in the 80s there was a direct sequel to this movie?
Oh God.
This Kong. Would you guys like me to read you what that movie's about?
Oh,
yeah, let's hear it.
All right, this is the actual synopsis, or this is the actual plot of this movie.
You didn't write this one?
No, I didn't, because this is so outlandish you would think I made it up. Okay, so here's where we left off with Kong was dead.
Correct.
He got perforated by helicopters and then fell off the Twin Towers and just bled out and died. Okay, so this is Kong Lives, direct sequel to this. It was like 10 years later they made this. After being shot down from the World Trade Centers, Kong is revealed to have been revived from his death and has been kept in a coma for about 10 years. At the 10 years at the Atlantic Institute under the care of surgeon Dr. Amy Franklin. In order to save Kong's life, Dr. Franklin performed heart surgery and gave him a transplant to give Kong a computer-monitored artificial heart. However, he has lost so much blood that a transfusion is badly needed. And to complicate the matters, Franklin says there's no species of ape and another animal whose blood type would match. Enter Hank Mitchell, adventurer Franklin's eventual love interest, who travels to Borneo as he theorizes that Borneo is the island from where Kong originated from, and captures a giant female ape who is dubbed Lady Kong. Mitchell brings her to the Institute to use her blood to King Kong's operation. The transfusion and a heart transplant are a success, but Kong escapes along with Lady Kong. Archie Nevitt, an insane army lieutenant, is called in with his men to hunt down and kill the two apes. Lady Kong is captured alive by Nevitt troops and by his troops and imprisoned. Kong falls from a cliff and is presumed dead. However, as Franklin and Mitchell soon discover, Kong's artificial heart is beginning to give out, but still has faint signals. Forcing them to attempt a jailbreak, they discover that Lady Kong is pregnant with Kong's offspring. The jailbreak is successful thanks to Kong, who has survived the fall, and breaks his mate out of jail. After being followed, attacked, and shot by the military, Kong kills Lieutenant Colonel Nevitt and dies slowly near the military base. On a farm where Lady Kong gives birth to an infant son, Kong reaches out to touch his son just before dying. Having returned to Borneo, Lady Kong lives peacefully with the son of Kong.
Or fast forward to movie 3, Son of Kong.
So Kong lived and they gave him a robot heart. And they're like, there's no monkey that we can give him a blood transfusion with. And it's like, yeah, of course, because it would take like 700 monkeys to get enough blood to fill the dude up.
Yeah.
But they're like, we know where a giant monkey is, Borneo. It'll be fine. So if you thought this movie was bad, I imagine that was way worse.
I wonder if they used the same robot.
I would imagine they'd have to. They probably had to put a new fur rug on him because, it had been 10 years. So it probably got all eaten up by moths and whatnot.
Yeah.
Nobody from the original cast returned for that movie, by the way. And they were asked.
I just saw the cast, and they're like only 4 of them have pictures.
Yeah, that's because by this point Jeff Bridges had done stuff like Tron and whatnot. So
I was gonna say Tron. He did Tron in '80. That was the next movie he did.
Yeah,
I saw
because somebody saw this movie. It's like, that guy carried this movie. Let's get him in Tron.
He probably
let's get him some real direction.
Yeah. No, good Lord.
All right, Gunnar, what's next?
So this being an iconic story, which obviously they made into their own.
They absolutely did.
What do you? Well, I guess we've kind of covered it. I guess. Do you think this did anything for that story? Do you think the changes it made helped, or do you think it just made it worse? Like, obviously, Kong usually climbs the Empire State Building. Skull Island usually have more monsters than just Kong. There's a lot of things that they didn't cover in this that they covered in the others. Did it help anything? Or was it just failure?
I don't know that it added much to the mythos of Kong. I think they picked the trade centers because they wanted to do a scene with him jumping from building to building. I think that's because, like, even the trade centers were iconic back in the day, but they still weren't as iconic as the Empire State Building.
Yeah.
So I think they wanted to flex. I wanted to think they made this big monkey and they're like, let's get him jump building to building.
Yeah. And when he was about to jump, I was like, he's totally going to jump the buildings.
Yeah. But I don't think it added anything. If anything, it watered down Skull Island, which when you water down something like that from the 1933s movies, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You got twice the budget and more technology, and you're like, let's phone it in. Let's put a foam snake in here, or claymation snake, and let's rip him in half, which he always does that. But like, I really feel like this is like the weakest entrance into like the Kong as a whole, because like you had the Peter Jackson one, which was like Skull Island was terrifying in that one.
Yeah.
You had bugs eating people and stuff, and then you had Kong, Skull Island, the one
Dinosaurs.
that we watched. Yeah. And like all sorts of crazy crap. And then in this one, they just had a snake. So it was like Skull Island wasn't really scary other than the threat of the giant gorilla that was really just a horn dog. So.
Honestly, we've pretty much covered everything I've talked about, because if I ask your favorite character, we're all going to say Jeff Bridges because he was the only one that was actually halfway decent. And maybe like one of the boat crew guys.
I don't know. I liked the guy that was there to check out the oil. I like how he got drunk and made fun of the big oil magnate. How he was like, yeah, I'll be. It's great. It's oil, and he's like, yeah, and he was like, yeah, we'll be ready in 2,000 years. As he took like a swig off his schnapps and started laughing at the guy on the beach.
Yeah, he was pretty good.
Yeah, but Jeff Bridges was definitely the best.
And then least favorite character?
Oh, Jessica Lange by far.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I love her in American Horror Story, but she was just not good in this. She's unlikable.
Yeah. Logan,
Oh yeah.
you're a big movie monster guy, right? I mean, that's kind of one of your things is you like movie monsters. Are you a big Kong fan, or is Kong just one of those that's kind of
I love Kong. I've got some NECA Kong action figures up in my house. Godzilla versus Kong was one of my favorite movies, but my favorite piece of Kong is Mechani Kong, which, like, you know how we have Mecha Godzilla.
mm-hmm.
There is actually a kaiju that is a fully mechanical version of Kong, and he is just goofy as shit looking. And his whole gimmick was he had a antenna on top of his head that made this noise that would confuse uh, other kaijus, and then he would just like sucker punch him and shit. And it was pretty good.
Nice?
This movie could have used some Mechanic Kong. It would have been a better flick.
Colton, you a Kong fan?
No, I'm not a. I don't. I don't not like the Jack Black, Adrian Brody. Like I don't not like that one, but it does nothing for me. Because I guess I kind of already know how the story I think is gonna end.
Until
Like dudes
except
end
for
up
this
dead.
one.
Yeah.
Well, the only one that ever broke away from that was Kong Skull Island. Like modern Kong never went to New York,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the closest he went to was Hong Kong, and he didn't fall off the building there. He just got his ass beat. Or was it Tokyo? I can't remember where he went in Kong versus Godzilla.
So yeah, and I guess just this isn't like my normal type of movie I'd want to watch.
Yeah. No, I mean, me neither. I'm not as big into like B movies as a lot of people are, but this was definitely not my style of movie. But I do enjoy Kong.
And sir, this was an A-tier movie when it came out. This went to cinemas.
Yeah.
That was
Gosh.
a big budget, man. They built a whole ass robot.
I can see why
Oh
there's a
my.
cult following for this kind of thing, though. I mean,
I really can't. I really don't think there's a cult following for this one though, particularly. Because
I
how
don't
have
know.
I gotten this far and not known it was a thing?
That's true. That's true. Very, very
Like,
true. Um,
oof.
we kind of talked about the CGI a little bit and how terrible that was. There were moments, and like I talked about the one where Kong was falling and he just kind of popped on the screen from the shot
Yeah.
looking up. But then like where Jeff Bridges is hiding in that little like cave on the side when Kong's
The
trying to
big
reach in
hand
there and
coming
grab him,
down.
and you can just see the green screen cut out of that hole there, and Jeff Bridges just sitting there. But oh my god, there were so many bad moments, like in the
My
window in the bar.
my favorites are when Kong is reaching forward, like to interact with Jessica. First of all, we have not mentioned her name this whole movie. Her name was Dwan.
Dwan.
Oh yeah.
Forgot about that.
DWAN. And she was like, it
Like
makes me sound
Dawn.
sophisticated.
It's
I
like
swapped the
Dawn.
letters. And I was like, that is the stupidest name I have ever heard. And
Yeah.
whoever okayed this for this script is a jackass. Dwan.
Dwan.
It's so dumb.
Well, and you know the
Which
funniest
fits her
part is
character.
when Scott texted me, he spelled her name right.
Yeah, it's DWAN,
Yeah,
right?
he spelled it right, and I was like,
Yeah, because he knows he's
he's a
watched it
fan.
too many times.
big fan, Scott. Dwan.
He's the reason why it was on Amazon. He probably wrote a bunch of letters, like kept emailing them, be like, "Hey, man, put this on here." And they're like, "This one guy just keeps asking, like, yeah, give it to him."
Yeah, he owns that on VHS. He owns it on DVD. He owns it on
Yeah.
Blu-ray.
Out of all I would like to talk to him and just see which is his favorite Kong. Because if it is this one, holy crap!
It can't be.
You want me to text
It
him right now?
can't
He'll
be.
probably text me back right away.
It
Oh man,
cannot.
you gotta ask him what his if it's his favorite. Because if it's his favorite, judgment, so much judgment.
I feel like you need to call him right now and get him on.
Yeah,
Oh
like
no,
I
he
want
doesn't. He doesn't want to be on pods. He doesn't
To
like that kind of
to
stuff.
defend himself.
Yeah.
There's something, like I said, if this is his favorite out of all of them, and I guarantee you he's probably watched Kong Lives then.
Oh,
If
probably.
you like this one that
yes.
much, you got to watch the what should have been direct to DVD sequel.
Yep. Scott is the B movie fanatic. He is the one that will watch any B movie and enjoy it.
I mean, I love a good trashy BC movie, but like it's just like I said, her acting was so unpleasant. And it really felt like the more watered down version of Kong. Like they stripped away a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I think they just lost a lot of their money because they built a big ass robot, which seemed like was unnecessary because like most of the shots were him were either his arm or
Yeah.
zoomed up on his face.
There were like 2 or 3 shots full body.
Yeah. So
It was nice. It was nice to actually see sets.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
in the
I'm all for
movie.
practical effects for sure.
That was nice. That was like nice to see because I was thinking, man, I wonder what they're gonna do. And I thought about it. I was like, dude, idiot, it's 76. They had to go places.
Yeah. I did like the scenes where she's like when she's in the waterfall and she's actually sitting in his hand. Like, and I was like, that's cool. That's a big practical set.
Yeah.
She actually jumps down in the river. She's sitting in that hand. Like, that's cool. Like, I can appreciate that stuff all day long. I don't know why they casted her. I don't know. I really don't. With the budget they had, and they went with an actress that literally that's her first credit on IMDb. It wasn't even like she did a commercial or anything before that. So who was she banging in the studio?
John Gillerman.
Yeah.
who's
But yeah,
who's in charge of casting?
I'm surprised that its rating isn't lower. But like I said, maybe the few people that do like it enough to go rate it, like evened it out. A bunch of hundreds by a bunch of goobers compared to the people that rated it seriously.
Yes, and I think Scott might have been one of those hundreds because he did text me
Oh.
back and say 76 was his favorite one.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, Scotty T, man, what the hell?
Come on.
It's okay. It's okay.
It might have been like,
Is
okay,
it?
so you got to think about what age he was in the 70s, when he was exposed to it.
I guess that's true.
He'd have
Nostalgia.
been he'd have
He's in
been
the
probably 8
nostalgia.
or 9, yeah.
Yeah, so it's probably like his first Kong movie. That's probably what got him into it, which I can justify
yeah.
that. Because like me as a kid, I saw Star Wars, but my first Star Wars to see in theaters was Episode 1, so I was like, "Pod racing's metal."
Yeah.
Jar
Speaking
Jar
of
Binks
Star
is the
Wars,
shit.
Star Wars came out 6 months after this movie came out, which is what actually kind of because movie stayed in the theaters a little bit longer at that
That's what
point.
buried it.
So
That's
it kind
what
of buried it. Yeah.
everybody fucking forgot about it because they were all talking about Star Wars.
Yep, exactly.
Oh, for sure.
All right, so my last thing is what rating would you have given this movie? It had a 53 on Rotten Tomatoes. So let's do the same. Let's do percentage out of 100.
27 out of respect for the practical effects.
I was gonna say 33%.
Oh gosh, I was going like 17 or I was going way low.
Colton's the nicest person tonight.
Wow.
What the hell?
That never happens.
It just didn't appeal to me after watching it. I was like, yeah, that
I was
good.
excited going into it. I was like, it's
I
a
was
Kong
too.
movie I've never seen. And I was like, it's got Jeff Bridges. I love Jeff Bridges. Tron is awesome. And then I just like I said, 54 minutes into that movie and there was no Kong. And I was like, why do they keep talking about oil? Why does nobody know it's called Skull Island? Why is nobody talking about a giant monkey? What the hell is going on here?
The main oil pool that they see is right in the middle of the facility that the people on the island have built. It's like
Oh yeah.
bubbling.
And the Islanders use it to lube up the gate.
To lube up the gate. Yes. That's what I was thinking too. I was like, good Lord.
And so whoever, like, I don't know, man.
So many.
And why did Jeff Bridges act drunk when he walked in the military base, even though he planned on bribing the guy?
Yeah.
But he gets out of that taxi being like,
Whoa.
and I was like, okay. As I said, it was just at a certain point in the movie, it became like I was looking at the timer,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll watch a long ass movie. God knows I've watched some ones that are extremely long. It's just like it's got to hold you if it's going to be that long.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, like I said, I'll go 27. I feel like it's like that, and that's all. That's Jeff Bridges and practical effects. That's where that's all going.
Nostalgia. I'm just for sets.
Yeah,
Nothing.
Sets were nice.
Yeah,
They
that's
did
what
build really
I
nice.
appreciated the most. I think it's just because we're so watered down with CGI and visual effects and all that other crap right now, and it's just nice to see some real, somewhat real stuff.
Some handmade stuff. And not a guy in a monkey suit. It was something that they built to do that. So, but yeah, there you go. 1976 King Kong, directed by John Gillerman. Certified.
Go watch
rotten.
it. So watch it.
Rotten.
Tell us what you think. If you got 2 hours of your life to waste, go watch it.
Let us know at the Call Guys Podcast. Yes, let us know at the Call Guys Podcast at gmail.com.
I would love to hear some opinions.
I'd love to hear some people say they watched it.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Cam, it's all you.
Oh,
yeah,
geez.
go for it, dude. Just be
Yeah.
prepared. Like I said, I
No.
don't know how they squeezed past the titty without catching a bigger rating. But I guess the 70s was different.
Yeah.
lot of hippies back then.
Yeah, man, it was so they gave him horny face. It was so weird.
It's so pedophile type of
It,
faces.
it
Yeah.
was so weird. He was like, "Oh,
He's just
movie."
like he's using one finger to like
Yeah, he's like, "Yeah, I'm taking layers off, homie," and she was just like, "All right, I guess." I mean, be
yeah.
fair though, a building-sized gorilla starts like trying to like take your tube top off. I'd be like, "All right, fine, okay, don't squish me."
Yeah, please don't kill me.
Oh man, it was weird. And the face they chose. They programmed
Mm.
that into that robot. When they built it, the director was like, "Make sure that monkey can make horny face." And they're like, "Oh, all right." I guess so.
Gotcha. I've got you.
Oh
I got
gosh.
you. Already programmed in there, sir.
Yeah, you don't have
Ready
to
to
ask
go.
twice.
Locked and loaded.
Oh, wait, that wasn't supposed to be in there already?
How horny do you want your monkey? Like casual or like creepy? Let's go creepy. Let's
Yeah.
dial it up.
Take it as far as you can go.
Oh, good lord.
All right, well, I'm gonna get us out of here. Logan, we appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, Logan, thanks for coming on, man. Thanks for making time, and just always, you're always welcome. Always appreciate the feedback you give with your emails, and excited just to have you back in the Empire.
Oh man, I'll come on. I love coming on. I'm not gonna thank you guys for having me on because you in fact made me watch this movie. But maybe
the
next time we'll come on and talk about something I like.
I was gonna
will,
say
exactly.
the next time you come on, it'll be something you enjoy.
Yeah, it'll
Yes.
be at the ass end of October where Logan's like skating on thin ice mentally.
Yeah. Hopefully we can get Cam in on that one too, because I know
Yeah.
he would love to be on that, and so you guys can have a fun conversation together.
Yeah.
You're the reason he listens to the Call Guys pretty much. So, yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get it. We got an email to Sop the other day where I had told Kayla about it because I thought it was funny. Where a lady was like, "I'm so happy to have Logan back." She was like, "I'll say this with respect to my husband and Kayla. I love Logan. I love his voice. It's so soothing and this and that." And I'm like, "In what world is my voice soothing?" You listen to Two Sop and you come to that conclusion. But I appreciate it.
You listened to 2 hours of whatever the heck it is we were doing,
Like
and that's what you came off with.
Logan said the F word like 30 times this episode, and it soothes me.
She's got King
peace.
Kong face.
Oh, God.
Oh no,
Oh no.
that's awful.
But yeah,
I love the show. Always listen. But yeah, this movie's awful.
yeah, we're sorry we made you watch it. Absolutely
It's fine.
terrible.
It's an experience.
It was hard to find a movie.
I feel it. Well, yeah, because there's a lot of good movies in the 70s.
I mean, I just looked up movies of '76, and we had Carrie, Outlaw Josie Wales, Bad News Bears.
Oh,
I mean,
all good movies.
there was so many good movies. I was like, oh god.
Yeah,
I'm just glad Kong sucked bad enough.
Yeah. Listeners, go check out The Other Side every last Saturday of the month. You can hear Logan and the Emperor chit-chatting about everything Two Sops talked about, and it's really enjoyable. The first one was out last month, and yeah, you guys do a good job. Logan, you put in a lot of research on top of listening to the episodes, so it's definitely interesting.
Dog.
Definitely interesting.
I plan on being on. I want to try to get my ass on one of those guys with issues too.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I gotta get in
sure.
there. I just gotta figure out what when to go on. Get to talking to those guys. I emailed them once already. It's just they're new to podcasting, so they got that whole like backlog thing going on. So when you email them, it slides in like 2 months later.
Yeah, they do a lot of the interesting thing about them is they get the emails and they go back into the studio and record them and then edit them into it.
That's
and Chris
crazy.
does a good job of being seamless on it. So.
Oh, I know. I got your boy. The first thing I said to Jeremy when we were doing Vamptober, I was like, let's get that guy in there, get him to do his version of a Bela Lugosi Dracula for our voiceover. Because I was like, he's got a good voice. He's got a radio voice.
He does, and hopefully he's done that by now. I'm not sure if he has. I need to talk to him, but
he's got time. I scripted the thing for him to read, and I'm looking forward to him getting in on there. But go check out Guys with Issues. They're cool too. One of the dudes, I can't remember what his name is, but did you guys ever watch Red versus Blue?
No.
which was the Halo thing.
The
Yeah.
Halo thing, yeah.
Yeah, Homeboy sounds like Caboose from Red versus Blue.
Pat
Like
or Will.
I can't remember. I'm bad with names. Is the which one?
Did you happen to watch our episode?
I
Some
listened. I didn't watch.
um
You have
I was
to go through it and then get
yeah.
back with us.
Yeah, I'll have to. But yeah, Homeboy sounds like Caboose from there. Which Caboose was like the goofy, not so smart, like supporting character of that, and he's got that same voice, like almost identical, and it's trippy. But yeah, go check them out. They're dope.
They do a good job.
They do a good job.
Yeah. All right. Well, everybody, thanks for listening to the Call Guys podcast. You can find us wherever you get your podcasts, whether it be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, wherever you get your podcasts. You can also watch us on YouTube. We upload every single Monday when we upload to all your favorite podcast sites. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff on there. And you can also check out all our social media accounts, facebook.com/thecallguyspod, TikTok at the Call Guys, and Instagram at the Call Guys Podcast. And you can also check out the website. It is goldenmojoent.com, merch store, and all the information about us and all the other podcasts in the Golden Mojo Entertainment Network of podcasts. Whether that
Let me
be
stop you right there, Chico. I'll do these plugs for you.
Okay.
I know everybody else puts you to work.
Yes. Do it.
Especially Golden J. Just abuses
the
Chico.
Emperor.
That's why I
you
pre-recorded
wanna
I
talk
mean,
him.
about it.
hell, last week, Skywalker didn't even clock in to do Golden Image. It was just Chico and Golden J.
Yep.
Listen. If you like the Call Guys, then you have a plethora of different Golden Mojo podcasts to listen to. Starting on Mondays, you got the Call Guys. It's the only show for Mondays. That's it. That's their
That's
day.
right.
Monday Call Guys Day, and then you
That's
move
right.
on. You got
Mhm.
on Tuesdays we've got the Golden Image podcast, which is a bi-weekly podcast now because they're done with the interesting people doing interesting things for now.
Mhm.
Which is the Skywalker when he decides to show up,
Correct.
Chico Noise, and Golden J doing reviews of breweries, restaurants, maybe mini golf places, whatever. They go out and do things to hopefully get you to go out and do things, and eventually they'll suss out some bad places for you not to go to, save you that
One day.
experience. And then on Chiefs fans is Thursday.
Yep.
Okay, so Wednesday we've got TUSOP, which is my stomping grounds, where they do all things cryptid, creepy, and paranormal in the United States. Sometimes they go outside the United States. And the last Saturday of every month for that, I pop in with the other side. We just talk about spooky stuff and whatnot. It's just me and Golden Jay's excuse to talk.
Yep.
Thursdays, we've got the Indiana Chiefs fans, where it is a bunch of Hoosiers talking about a sports ball team that doesn't even belong to their home state.
That's right.
Yeah, and was it recently they lost to the Lions, which I don't know sports ball really well. I'm a hockey guy, but as soon as they said they lost to the Lions, I was like, wait, they lost to the team that Tim the Toolman Taylor from Home Improvement liked?
Correct.
What the hell?
Yep.
What the hell? So
Yep.
I imagine the Toolman like that. What
What?
else we also on Thursdays is Golden 80s, right? That's
Yep.
Thursday show too,
Yep.
right? Yep. Golden 80s, you got Frankie Vegas, my man, keeping that show afloat.
Yep.
All the
Love
heavy
Frankie
lifting.
Vegas. He is the talent there.
You got the
He's
Emperor and
got-
Green
he's just
Admiral
getting-
Throne.
Yeah, the Emperor's just wrangling them in every now and then. But you got the Golden 80s where they take you back in the Wayback Machine and talk about all things 80s, except for when they do What's Your Damage, which is their version of Chiller Filler. Because
Stiller filler.
Yeah.
Filler.
Yeah, see, man does Golden J like to appropriate other podcasts' culture.
Yep.
Yes, he does.
He takes the Question the Pod, and then he takes Chiller Filler, and just like, oh. But that was a good episode too. You got to learn about just learn more information about Golden J and Frankie Vegas's life, and that's what I like about podcasts. I like learning about the people that are putting it together. And then we got Friday, which is we got the Court of Books and Booze with Amanda. See, I remembered her name this time.
Nice. Good job.
Skywalker and Jessica, where they read books and talk about them because apparently people read books. And then every other week they do a Court of Milk and Cookies where they've got kids come on and read kids books, which is adorable.
Yes.
And I listen to that one because that's relatable because I can read Give a Mouse a Cookie, but I cannot read like
These Sarah
4
J.
giant
Maas
novels.
book?
Yeah, I can't do that. I could listen to an audio. Let me tell you, I read an actual book, like a physical book the other day because I had to do some research, and it was a book from the 70s and it had not been put in audio format. And boy, that was rough. So
I had enough.
sucks.
I had enough trouble reading 12 issues of Blue Beetle.
Oh gosh.
let me tell you, I know you guys are trying to get out of here, but boy, man, they get Colton in there to read a comic book and they pick the first 12 issues of Blue Beetle. Woof, that series had a slow start and it was everywhere. I've got some good Blue Beetle stuff in my long boxes because your boy here has over just so many long boxes of comic books. And like I feel him there where he was like, man, I can't believe this is what I got Colton coming in on.
I about died. I felt so relieved when he said that because I was afraid that it was me.
No,
like, I
it
was
wasn't
worried it
you.
was me. And I was like, oh crap. Like I'm gonna go into this thing and I'm just gonna crap on it because I don't know anything. Like I feel like I learned nothing early on.
That series went on for a long time, which was really surprising because how not well received it was the first few issues.
Oh yeah.
But then it finally got its pace. But like if you were a reader back then and you kept going after like issue 3, that's impressive because it was rough. But it got better. It really did.
Yeah,
It did.
Chris said 13 through 15 is really good because he continued on. He said it got really good then. So
Yeah, like I said, there's just I know you guys did it because you guys did the movie, but there's just so many DC comic books that could have been such a better first foot in the door type thing.
I felt like I said that too. That like I felt like if I would have started with anybody else other than this, I might have enjoyed it more.
And listen, Guy Gardner, depending on who writes him, can be great. Okay. I know he's the ass of the Green Lanterns. He had that goofy ass bowl cut. They casted Nathan Fillion to play Guy Gardner, which is weird because Nathan Fillion has voiced Hal Jordan in every animated movie they've ever done, basically.
Yeah.
But he can be a really good character. He had his own run for a while that was really good, but it just depends on who writes him. It's like when Kevin Smith writes Batman, Batman looks like an asshole. It just depends on who's writing him.
It's not just Kevin Smith putting his own flair on it.
So don't let people tell you the worst Green Lantern is Jon Stewart. Don't let people tell you otherwise. That dude kills planets all the time. And I'll leave it at that. But yeah, Golden Image, go check out, or Golden Mojo, go check out the podcast.
All of them. Go check them all
Check
out.
the Empire out.
Go check them all out.
GoldenMojoENT.com, best place to find them all. Click us, find us wherever you get your podcasts. Good stuff. Logan, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Anytime, boys.
You killed
Anytime.
it. Killed it with your synopsis and everything.
You
I
did.
got scripted right here. Saved forever.
All right, you guys got anything else you want to say?
Life's too short to watch that movie a second time.
That's true.
I agree.
So true.
I agree. Love you, brother.
Yep. Love you, brothers.
Love you, boys.
All right, everybody out there in podcast land. See you next time.
Later.
Bye. This is where I do my weird Colton laugh.
I usually make fun of all the other outros that everybody else does.
See you on the other side.